Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Thursday, September 5th, 2019. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, today commended the Honorable Spencer Brand, Minister of Labour in the Nevis Island Administration, Gary Liber, the Chief Labour Officer in Nevis, as well as the Honorable Vance Amory, Federal Minister of Labour, and Ron Dublin Collins, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, for doing their best on behalf of the 138 former employees of Brownhill Communications. The call centre closed its operations in Nevis on Tuesday, September 3rd.
We discussed with the owners and operators of Brownhill Communications, and they were able to offer a fairly generous package to the workers. Some workers, I think, will get as much as 6 months' salary. In addition, working with the Honourable Vance Amory, and I would want to go on record on thanking him as the Federal Minister of Labour and his team, including Bishop Ron Collins, because they really worked very closely and quickly with us here in Nevis to sort out the severance payment that is due to workers. Some workers, again, based on long service, will get up to 6 months severance payment. So the truth is that some workers, we hope, will get as much as a year's salary in their hands in short order. I'm told that the payments from Brownhill Communication will be finalized on September 20th, and that thereafter, we hope in the early parts of October to have the severance payments paid.
Making his opening remarks at today's press conference, Premier Brantley gave some advice to the persons affected.
We want to encourage them to manage the money that they're going to receive in a lump sum carefully, because there's no guarantee when they will be able to find employment. So if they have a month or two while they try to source new employment, we are hopeful that they will manage this lump sum that they would have received. Because as I said, most will receive a pretty significant lump sum in their hand at one time. In order to help them, the government has waived any taxes on the money that they will receive. And I think that is again another indication of our effort to partner with and show that we care. It is us now as a government to seek to create the environment where people can find work. And to that end, we are in advanced discussions with some other players, which we hope will bear some fruit, and I hope to come back to you when I have something substantive. In the meantime, our prayers continue with these workers and their families, and we continue to commit to them that we will do everything that we can to ensure that they transition to gainful employment in short order.
Meantime, at today's Premier's press conference, the Honourable Mark Brantley, who is also the Minister of Tourism, also gave an update pertaining to employees of the Four Seasons Resort Nevis.
I believe it was some 363 or thereabouts workers who were impacted by the closure, and those were the workers who are now only getting 25% of what their usual salary would be. We understand that people were suffering, and so we decided that we would make a one-off payment to assist them with back-to-school expenses. As a community, all of us have godchildren, all of us have neighbors, all of us support each other. And so notwithstanding that someone may not have had a child in school, I am pretty sure they may have nieces and nephews, they have family, they have godchildren that they would assist. And so we decided, rather than going down there with a sheet to ask, you have children going to school, that we make the funds available to all of those who would have suffered from the closure and were only getting the 25%.
Employees of the Four Seasons Resort Nevis are expected to return to work later this month in preparation for the hotel's reopening in October.
Four Seasons, I think, has done what it could with the 25%. The homeowners have chipped in with $150,000. The government has chipped in with $368,000 EC dollars. And the workers now hopefully go back to work on the 16th of September. The resort reopens on October 1st. They will have some additional work to do, but he said they will be receiving their first guests by October 4th. And I believe that is good news for Nevis. Now, why are workers going back on September 16th if the first guest doesn't come until October 4th? Is because they're going to have a massive retraining. And he has advised that they're going to do that in 2 tranches, one starting on September 16th and the other starting sometime, I believe, around the 23rd or thereabouts of September.
Premier and the Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Mark Brantley. The Nevis Historical and Conservation Society is this week hosting a training workshop under the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage Capacity Building Project. The Bureau of the Committee for Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage approved at its meeting on October 2, 2018, the international assistance request submitted by St. Kitts and Nevis to implement the project, strengthening inventory preparation capacity for implementing the 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage in St. Kitts and Nevis.
So you're going to be gaining skill sets in interviewing, using a video camera to document. We all have cell phones. It's very easy to capture something, but we're going to provide training so that you'll know different aspects of documentation and about sound, and also planning. If you're strong, have strong communication skills or organizational skills, that's going to become useful in terms of planning and executing. Doing research and inventory, because the goal of the whole workshop is to train you in year one, and then year two, recruit you again to actually help to do a pilot study where you will receive a stipend for applying the skills that you've learned to go into your communities and talk and engage stakeholders who you think have information about tradition that needs to be preserved and documented or revived even.
Marlene Phillips of the Department of Culture in St. Kitts is the lead focal point in St. Kitts and Nevis for the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage Capacity Building Project, while Pauline Gunjiri of Nevis Historical and Conservation Society is the secondary focal point for the project. At the opening ceremony, the Honorable Eric Evelyn also delivered remarks in the capacity of Minister of Culture.
You've heard that St. Kitts and Nevis is the first island in the English-speaking Caribbean to get this project from UNESCO. And I think that says a lot. And I want to take this opportunity to thank those who have been involved in conceptualizing the project, both in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I also want to thank UNESCO for seeing it fit to sponsor a project of this nature. And remember, this project, this workshop, is a trainer of trainers workshop. And so the information and the expertise that you're going to garner over the next couple of days, I do not want you to keep it to yourself. We want you to be able to spread the word far and wide in the community across Nevis, and let us ensure that this project, as I said, is a model for many of us in the region to follow.
Representatives of the Nevis Cultural Development Foundation and other cultural practitioners and enthusiasts are receiving the training, which commenced on Tuesday, September 2nd and will run until Friday, September 6th. The first Trainers of Trainers workshop was held from April 29th to May 2nd. Still to come.
It also sends the right signal to Canada that Kittitians and Nevisians are willing and interested in continuing to travel to Canada and continuing to engage with Canada.
We'll give you the details after this break.
At a loss as to what's going on in Nevis? Tune into NNC on NTV. Don't worry if you don't have cable either. NNC will bring the news to you wherever you are. Facebook and Facebook Live. YouTube and YouTube Live. NevisTVOnline.com. Roku app, NTV mobile app, Smart TV, Apple TV, and any other IPTV platforms. When NNC and UNC, NNC.
Welcome back. The Canadian High Commission's collection of biometrics data in St. Kitts and Nevis was a welcome initiative which saved the people of the Federation a lot of money. That note was made by Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Mark Brantley, at the Tuesday, September 3rd sitting of the National Assembly.
I think it's an important initiative that has benefited our people because I'm advised that it was extremely successful and some over 250 persons were able to have their biometrics collected on the visit here. That is, I think, important because it also sends the right signal to Canada that Kittitians and Nevisians are willing and interested in continuing to travel to Canada and continuing to engage with Canada. And so having over 250 of our nationals and others, because I want to make it clear that this initiative was not only to benefit citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, anybody who was in St. Kitts and Nevis who had applied for a Canadian visa was spared the expense of having to travel to Barbados or Trinidad. And I think, Madam Deputy Speaker, that is a significant development for us. It demonstrates that when we make the effort to repair relationships, that it pays dividends.
The Foreign Affairs Minister explained that he had also expressed his gratitude to the Canadian High Commission.
I have called the High Commissioner Marie Legault in Barbados to convey our thanks, and I'm grateful that the relationship now, Madam Deputy Speaker, is at a level where we can see that type of initiative from Canada benefiting St. Kitts and Nevis and our people, and I'm told it was also extended to Antigua, our neighbors next door. And I'm happy that whoever can benefit. That is, of course, a matter for them. We are delighted that through efforts engaged by us, efforts of our High Commissioner in particular in Canada, a continued and sustained diplomatic initiative, that we have been able to reap these benefits for our people. And I think it's important that our people hear this and that we continue to press Canada and continue to engage with them in a sensible and forthright and open manner, as nations of goodwill tend to do.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Mark Brantley. Building the capacity of staff and the rehabilitation of residents at Her Majesty's Prison topped the list of priorities for the recently appointed Commissioner of Corrections, Terence James. Commissioner James disclosed his plans to further develop those areas on a recent edition of the program Policing with You. He explained that training for the officers at Her Majesty's Prison had always been taking place. However, he intends to give the matter additional attention. Commissioner James explained that prison officers travel as far as Colorado and Virginia in the United States to receive training. Just recently, some officers went to Barbados at Dodds Correctional Facility to see how the new, much larger prison operates. He added that he would also be traveling to Barbados shortly to gain some experience on how to manage such a large institution. Where residents are concerned, he stated that over the years, the prison had developed a good academic program, which he expects to further advance. Residents at the prison sat the CSEC examination in January and obtained 8 passes of 13 entries. Similarly, there were 19 entries for the Cape, of which there were 13 passes. The Commissioner announced that starting in September, residents would be allowed to take classes in 3 disciplines at the Advanced Vocational Education Center, AVEC. Commissioner James said he has already touched base with the director of AVEC and has been assured that come September, with the opening of the new school term, automotive repair, welding, and general construction will be offered to prison inmates. The Commissioner said he's already trying to get the inmates interested in these areas to start the classes. He also listed the revision of legislation governing the prison system, restructuring the ranks, promotions, and revisiting the staff appraisal system as other areas of focus. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing.